This is a News Channel 13 special report. I'm Sabrina Dami. We have breaking news on the shooting death of Kaylin Gillis. The man accused of firing the gun, Kevin Monahan, was just arraigned minutes ago on new charges: murder in the second degree, falling under reckless and depraved indifference murder, reckless endangerment in the first degree, and tampering with physical evidence. He pleaded not guilty. A trial date is now set for September 7th. Monahan in court today had a suit on, his hands handcuffed at his waist. The only time he spoke was to state his name, address, and age. He's accused of firing a shotgun at vehicles turning around in his driveway on April 15th. It was a group of friends. Police say they had mistakenly pulled into the wrong driveway while searching for a friend's house in the town of Hebron, and while turning around, police say Monahan fired 2 shots from a shotgun. One of those shots, police say, hit Kaylin Gillis in the neck, killing her. In court this afternoon, the DA for Washington County, Tony Jordan, said the evidence today against Monahan is even stronger. He said the shot that killed Gillis entered from a rear window of the SUV she was in, showing the car was turning around and leaving when the shots were fired. DA Jordan today also said there is no evidence supporting the group of friends provoked Monahan in any way. Monahan's attorney argued his client should not remain in jail. He talked about the struggles he has had to meet with his client inside the Warren County Jail, and he also talked about the nature of the charges and how they have changed. Judge Adam Michelini this afternoon said Monahan is remaining behind bars. Here's what the judge just had to say.
As far as bail goes, I do want to be clear on the record. I do consider all the factors. I just don't address each and every one of them. They're all in the court's mind as I'm making my determinations. So the fact that the defendant was originally charged with intentional murder and is now charged and indicted with reckless, depraved indifference murder, it's of no consequence. It's the same exact level felony. It's the same exposure. The exposure is actually, your client faces a significant amount of incarceration. The alleged harm remains the same. The victim in this case was allegedly killed. So I think based on those factors that your client, Attorney Mauser, is a significant flight risk, and I'm going to remand him without bail.
Judge Michelini remanding Kevin Monahan to jail without bail. If convicted, Kevin Monahan faces 25 years to life in prison. Let's bring in my colleague Tessa Bentulin. She was inside the courtroom in Washington County Court as all of this took place just minutes ago. And Tessa, you spoke with both attorneys. I want to get to that in just a moment, but first talk about the Gillis family. They have, at the beginning, were very outspoken about everything they have gone through. Who was inside the courtroom today, and did anyone say anything on behalf of the family?
Hi, Sabrina. So Kaylin Gillis' father, Andrew Gillis, was in the courtroom along with what we believe is some family members and friends, some of them wearing T-shirts that had Kaylin Gillis' name on it saying justice for Gillis. A lot of the family members, all of them actually, just did not want to speak on camera about this case. But I did go up to Andrew Gillis after the hearing today, and I offered my condolences. And during those 2 interviews after the case with the district attorney, Tony Jordan, and with Kevin Monahan's attorney, Kurt Mausert, the DA wanted to tell us before we started the interview that the family does respect what we do. They are thankful for the coverage that we have done and all the other news outlets on this case, but again, they just do not want to speak while this case and this trial goes on.
You mentioned you spoke with Mr. Mauser, Kevin Monahan's attorney, as well. What did he have to say? He made the argument inside court that he wouldn't be ready for trial by the date that the judge has said, which is September 7th. What did he say about that?
Yeah, so he said there is absolutely no way he's going to be ready for trial, which is supposed to start on September 7th, which is when the jury selection will start. He said, quote, "I am in for a really tough fight." He says that there's no way he's going to show up in court on September 7th. He said he'll take this to a higher court to fight it. And the judge said that he does believe in the attorney Mauser to go through with this and to be able to be ready for court to September 7th. And I asked the attorney about the Kurt Mausert, and he said, well, if he believes in me, then he would know that I am not ready to go to court on September 7th. He says he has to look through a ton of discovery, which just came back to his office yesterday or today, I believe. He said there is at least hundreds and hundreds of pages of discovery that he and his team has to go to. He says he has to have the gun that was used in that shooting to be examined, and he says he has to confide in a co-counsel. He says that there's just no way that he will be ready for this. But the district attorney, he says that that they are ready for trial and that they are ready to go today.
Tessa Bentulin joining us live outside the Washington County Courthouse on this breaking news regarding the trial now set for Kevin Monahan for September 7th. Much more coming up on Newschannel 13 live at 4. My colleague Mark Mulholland also in Washington County covering this case. We will hear from him as well starting live at 4. For now, I'm Sabrina Dami. We'll see you shortly.
Steamed, so it's partially cooked. So we don't need to cook this for a really, really long time. So the lobster meat will go in. All right, and we're just going to cook it just to finish the cooking. A little bit of lobster. Now we're going to put in our white miso. And again, just a little bit.